Alafia, greetings, aloha, and hi. My name's John Boucher. I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology that now allows us to have different ways of exchanging value. And you can see more, and I'm hailing from zerowasteadvocacy.com. I want to tell you about this because I just really hate the debt economy. It's so unsustainable. The design is so bad, and a lot of our forefathers really fought hard to keep from happening what has slowly happened over the last 100 years. Just slowly passing legislation that kind of strips away the republic, the land of the free, the home of the brave, and now it seems like there's no alternative. But is that true? And so I just want to bring your attention to the one that I've really tried and explored this last year. It's January, but last year I actually made about $5,000 in Bitcoin by selling event tickets in Bitcoin. And, essentially I bought my first Bitcoin a year ago, $150, and even though it's crashed in January, it's very volatile, it's still almost double what I paid for it. So try to get that return on any traditional banking speculation. So essentially cryptocurrencies are based on cryptography, this means that the money is more secure. It's easy. You don't have to pay fees. You can take it overseas. You can pay a fee, but it's not nearly like what a credit card transaction would cost. So it's a really complex subject. I suggest the podcast Let's Talk Bitcoin, and you just have to probably listen to a couple episodes just to get the basics. But essentially, this technology is a ledger technology. So you can do anything that you can do on a ledger using these new technologies. So there's exciting things in the way of smart contracts and federated news, and you can pretty much apply it to federated insurance or anything that requires a ledger. Buying a house, getting married, and so people are kind of using this technology not only as a currency but to track things and kind of like filing their marriage certificate on the blockchain, for example. And there's different types of protocols. Bitcoin came out and kind of gave us the model, and other people built on top of it. They built beside it, on side chains. I mean, there's all kinds of innovation going. And the bottom line is I tried out the Bitcoin thing. I made some money. I made a huge ROI. And I just see the potential of the current to not be as the current of debt really just creates a lot of suffering. I mean, back in the day it was, I think the word is usury, and pretty much illegal to charge interest at the rates that we're currently enjoying in most cases, and the bankers, which in a lot of cases were Jewish, would be like, you cannot do this to each other, only to Gentiles. So people outside of their faith, they could, just capitalize on at whatever level, and it wasn't a moral problem for them. So, basically, this awesome technology, I'm still grasping it myself, but I have to say that I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of innovation as an entrepreneur. I predict that in a couple years, businesses all over the world will pretty much have their own token. All these businesses will create their own assets and trade on a decentralized commodity exchange, which are already being created. You can go check out the Mastercoin protocol, colored coins. I was able to create basically a class of stock and an asset digitally as a colored coin, and then register it at the master protocol. So, creating assets, creating stock, the types of stock, there's some things that you have to be careful with, and make sure this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and, obey the law and all that stuff. But if it's not law, if it's code posing as law and is infringing on your right to the pursuit of happiness and freedom, then this technology does, because it's based on cryptography, does protect you. It does protect your freedoms. You can, if you don't trust the internet, you can print it out on a paper wallet, put it in a safe. If you buy some of this currency and just wait 10 years, I guarantee you one Bitcoin will be like $1 billion asset. It's like the decimal point's just going to move, and as the value is created. So these are called user-created assets, and the communities create the value. So whether it's your business community, your local civic community, or whatever, you can create currents and value amongst yourselves. And hell, you could even tie it to your commodities streams, which is my white paper I recently wrote about zero debt and the potential to tie local value to assets and resources we're wasting. So that's how it ties to zero waste, because something has to fund zero waste. You can't fund a sustainable initiative with debt, which is what these cities are doing. They're like, why can't we get any money? Why doesn't anything happen? Because, it's like you're using debt mechanism to fund something sustainable, and at some point it's just not going to work out. So so that's my first attempt and whack at this conversation of crypto technologies and currencies. I strongly recommend you go to prism-break.org to look at what the secure technologies are pertaining to servers and browsers and all these things. And this is just one of many things that we'll have to switch our current to, because these old paradigms just aren't really working for us these days. There's a lot of scarcity, and the reality is we don't have to limit ourselves to this, the 10 zillionaires that have control of everything. So let's create our own economy and kind of leave that one behind. So if you have any questions, you can go zerowasteadvocacy.com and hit contact, and I'll get the message. So have an awesome week, month, year, and look forward to creating a more sustainable world with you. Thanks.